I have to be honest, I had no idea that China was airdropping into Gaza. That's the nature of China. It doesn't brag about it, it just does it. Those people desperately need that aid. And of course, the Western world and Israelis kept quiet about it, no doubt remembering what happened to the Indians from the Pakistanis by using Chinese military technology.
As bombs fall and families huddle in makeshift shelters, a lifeline emerges from the east. While Western media headlines focus on conflict and destruction, China has quietly become one of Gaza's most consistent humanitarian supporters, recently announcing aid for 60,000 families in a region where over 2 million people struggle to survive. But what's behind this aid? Is it purely humanitarian, or does it represent something more significant on the global stage? Today, we're diving deep into China's humanitarian efforts in Gaza, examining not just what they're giving, but why it matters in the broader context of global politics, humanitarian response, and China's evolving role in the Middle East. In February 2024, China announced fresh humanitarian aid targeted at 60,000 families in Gaza. This aid package, primarily consisting of food supplies, represents Beijing's continued commitment to supporting Palestinians during one of the most devastating humanitarian crises in recent history. According to China's International Development Corporation, this aid is part of China's ongoing support for the Palestinian people in their just cause of restoring their legitimate national rights. The timing of this announcement is particularly significant. It comes after Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi told his Israeli counterpart Gideon Sa'ar that the humanitarian disaster in Gaza must be brought to an end as soon as possible. This statement reflects China's increasingly vocal position on the conflict, moving beyond its traditionally cautious diplomatic approach. China's support for Palestine isn't new. It dates back decades. Since making its contribution to the UNRWA in 1964, China has consistently provided both financial and political support to Palestinians. This relationship evolved significantly during different periods of Chinese foreign policy. During Mao Zedong's era, China offered strong ideological support for Palestine as part of its broader anti-imperialist stance. As China's foreign policy evolved in the Reform era, it maintained support while developing economic ties with Israel after establishing formal diplomatic relations in 1992. This balancing act has characterized China's approach to the region ever since. In recent years, however, China has become more assertive in its support for Palestinians while maintaining its economic relationship with Israel. This shift reflects China's growing confidence in projecting influence in regions traditionally dominated by Western powers.
主席在巴勒斯坦问题上，中方秉持公道正义，始终坚定支持巴勒斯坦人民恢复民族合法权利的正义事业，支持早日建立以1967年边界为基础，以东耶路撒冷为首都，享有完全主权的独立的巴勒斯坦国，支持巴勒斯坦国早日成为联合国正式会员国。中方支持埃及和阿拉伯国家共同发起的加沙恢复和重建计划，期待法国、沙特于6月举行的落实两国方案高级别会议，为落实两国方案注入新的动能。中方将继续同所有爱好和平的国家一道，不懈努力，推动落实两国方案，早日实现巴勒斯坦问题的全面、公正、持久解决，让巴勒斯坦灾难日永远成为历史。谢谢主席。
Since the outbreak of the current conflict in October 2023, China has provided multiple rounds of emergency humanitarian assistance. October 26, 2023, China provided cash assistance to both the Palestinian National Authority and the UNRWA, along with the first batch of emergency aid supplies to Gaza, primarily food and medicine. November 29, 2023, Foreign Minister Wang Yi announced another batch of emergency humanitarian supplies, including medical supplies and food. The medical supplies were airlifted to Egypt and food was shipped. February 2024, China announced a third batch of emergency humanitarian assistance, including the food packages for 60,000 families. August 2nd, 2024, the Chinese government provided 3 million UN RWA specifically to support primary health services and emergency food assistance in Gaza. This consistent pattern of aid demonstrates China's long-term commitment rather than a one-time response.
Love you, China! China! I love you! I love you!
China's humanitarian assistance to Gaza must be understood within the broader context of its foreign policy objectives. As China seeks to position itself as a responsible global power and an alternative to Western leadership, humanitarian aid serves multiple purposes. It demonstrates China's commitment to humanitarian principles and international law. It builds goodwill among Arab and Muslim majority nations. It supports China's narrative of being a champion for developing nations. It challenges Western dominance in international affairs and Middle East diplomacy.
加沙是巴勒斯坦人的加沙，是巴勒斯坦领土不可分割的一部分，不是政治交易的筹码，更不能成为弱肉强食的对象。加沙已经饱受战火摧残，满目疮痍，哀鸿遍野。国际社会，特别是大国，应携手为加沙人道援助和重建雪中送炭，而不是雪上加霜。中方坚定支持巴勒斯坦人民的民族合法权利，始终认为8人制8是加沙战后治理必须坚持的重要原则，反对针对加沙民众的强制迁移。中方愿与国际社会一道努力，以两国方案为根本出路，推动巴勒斯坦问题早日得到公正的政治解决，即建立以1967年边界为基础，以东耶路撒冷为首都，享有完全主权的独立的巴勒斯坦国。
As the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues, China's aid provides critical support to families in desperate need. Whether this aid will translate into greater Chinese influence in future peace negotiations remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, China is no longer content to be a passive observer in Middle Eastern affairs. For the 60,000 families receiving Chinese aid, the geopolitical implications may matter less than the immediate relief it provides. But for those watching global power dynamics, China's humanitarian efforts in Gaza represent another step in its journey towards greater global influence and leadership. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.